this is Andrew Phipps, and I certainly am grateful that you have joined us today. I hope that you will perhaps invite a friend, and maybe they would like to join in. We will be discussing a topic that has been repeated oftentimes, but I'm not quite sure that we have a clear understanding of what is oftentimes referred to the wall of separation between church and state. I met a man at the Faith and Freedom Coalition down in Orlando, Florida, Stephen Corrigan, and he's done a book about our kind of government, and he wrote this. He said, on January the 1st, 1802, Thomas Jefferson wrote the following letter to the Danbury Association in Connecticut. Now, I've been privileged to go there where this letter was received there in Danbury, a very historic place. And this is a portion of that letter that the Supreme Court has adopted as defining the wall, separating the church from the state. Thomas Jefferson said this, "Gentlemen, believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions, I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people which declared that the legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." And I believe that when Thomas Jefferson wrote this, I believe wholeheartedly that he was not meaning that in the public discourse or in the public square that religion or religious dogma or religious tenets could not be mentioned or proclaimed. For example, the words separation of church and state, those words do not exist in the Constitution. It merely in the First Amendment, John Leland, a Baptist preacher, helped James Madison, who did most of the writing or a good portion of the Constitution, and they met under a tree, according to historical documents, and they talked and communicated, and John Leland was very insistent, and other church leaders were insistent upon the idea that they should be free from political or governmental interference in the fact that they had left the Anglican Church in England, that they had come to America freely wanting to be able to worship God according to the dictates of their conscience. And so when they arrived here, they didn't want to impose upon the citizenry the same restrictions that they had encountered in Europe. So as a result, the wall was to restrict the government. The wall was never intended to restrict the churches. That's why there are two parts to this, the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause. The Establishment Clause prohibits the federal government from establishing a single national denomination. There can be no church state. But the Free Exercise Clause goes further by saying that the federal government is prohibited with interfering from the people's right to be able to make religious expressions, utterances, and with their ability to exercise their acknowledgement of God. And it has been said, and rightfully so, that if we have not the ability to recognize God in the public square or in public or in those places, we really have no rights, because this was the first right mentioned in the Bill of Rights, Amendment number 1, that we adopted in 1791. Stay with us, and we'll be back with more information.